Hello, this is Solomon Davis, Right Side Trader. Today is June 14th, 2024, and this is my weekly market review, where I'm reviewing the Russell 2000, that's IWM, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only. As we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other, and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right, let's jump over here and take a look at the chart here on the Russell. The Russell, of course, is doing its own thing. Everybody else is making new highs, and the Russell is trying to just do its normal pattern that it always does. Zigzag. All right, let's zoom in here, and let's take a look. Here on the quarterly chart, as you can see, we do have a red quarter. The Russell cannot its R1 level, and it's getting back down into that old range that it had before from last couple of years, where it had dropped down and was in this little range. It's having a hard time breaking out of that range and staying out of that range. It's got back down into this area again. We actually made a pretty good low here this week. I think this low right probably was just made this week, that we're looking here on the quarterly chart. But as we can see, on the quarter on the Russell is one where you have to be careful. There's certain strategies that works really great with the Russell because it's not going anywhere. It goes sideways in a fairly large range. Look like this year the range might be a little tighter than it has been the last year, but it's doing what it normally does, and we'll be able to see that a little bit better once we drop down here to these lower time frames. And right now, let's go down to the monthly chart and see what we see there. On the monthly chart, zoom in a little bit here, zoom in a little bit here. As we can see, this month is actually being a red month, kind of like what you see on the Russell. Red, green, red, green, red, green, red. Normal Russell stuff. That's what we're having. We're still above the 10 moving average. That's 10 or 9 moving average, which one you may want to be using. The Russell is coming, like I said, it's coming back down here in the zone. That's why I haven't removed that yet, because I was wondering, I didn't set up a new zone either for the Russell. The Russell, because again, I wasn't really sure what the Russell is doing. It has established a top, I'm thinking, for the year. And the bottom for the Russell is probably, you would just use the low of the year. I would just use that. Number one for the Russell, and always give yourself more than enough time to be right. No trade recommendation. I'm not calling out any numbers or anything like that. So, but you guys who know how to do those type of trades, you know what I'm talking about, and all. But as we can see, the Russell's not doing anything. Let's go down to the weekly chart, and we'll have a better picture of seeing what the Russell is doing, and how we normally trade the Russell. The Russell took its time though here on this weekly chart. As we can see, as I was saying, I was kind of expecting it to come down here. It came down here and filled this jailer gap. I'll call it a jailer gap, down here, and it's trying to fill that right now on this weekly picture, and I still think it can come all the way down here to around a 195 or somewhere, and maybe bounce off this 50 moving average again, and it can slip a little bit and come all the way down to the 200 and bounce here. That's the whole thing. But it's getting back and doing this pattern. It goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down, it goes up, and we've been waiting for like the last 1, 2, 3 weeks. It finally last week gave us a pretty good push down. And now this week, with it opening here, going all the way up here, and then coming all the way back down here and closing to a red, that might be it. But we have to kind of like wait and see. It can slip a little bit more, maybe down in this little area. Like I said, we have this 50 line, this 50 moving average line that can maybe act as support, and it can actually really even slip down here to this 200, and that can act as support. And also, again, always, it's the Russell is one of those ones. It's a strategy that works pretty good for this when it's not really going anywhere fast. If you're a longer term type trader and trying to swing this thing, it goes, and using options is the one thing. It's hard. It's good for intraday trading because look at these big candles and how it moves. But trying to do something long term is not going anywhere. So again, if you have core positions that are actually on the Russell and selling your cover calls against that, or selling puts underneath that, that's a great strategy, for the Russell, since it's not going anywhere fast, and let that time decay work for you. That's no trade recommendation, but that's one of the things that you have to see here on the Russell. It's in a range. It's in a range. It's in a range. Sell the range. No trade recommendation there though. So, but let's go down to the daily noise and see what we see there and wrap this on up. I went the wrong way. Right here to the daily noise. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. But as you can see, it had started making this channel to the downside. Me and one of the other traders was looking at this and this channel going down. And I remember it was, I forget what number. We was looking at a future contract. And at the future contract, we were saying, okay, let it get up here, let it get up here, let it get up here before you sell it. If you're going to sell it, don't sell it right away when it was down here. That was like, this is Tuesday. Then you got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Don't sell it right away, because again, if you sell it right away, now you're thinking about trying to get out. You could have made a whole lot more money if you'd have waited and let that thing come all the way up here to this top, and then sold it to the downside. Because we expected to be actually dropping, and it has dropped, and we still, as you can see here on this daily chart here now, you can see these lines in this range that are a little bit better, and these gaps that are down here that we were kind of expecting it to fill, and it still hasn't filled this gap down here that you can barely see here on this side of the chart. I'm looking at this gap right here, and it's not a complete gap. It's not a gap like this one. It's what I'm calling a jailer gap, like that. And that's it on this daily chart. That's all I really want to share. I hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys having a great weekend. It's going to be opening below pivot, so we kind of expect this thing. It could, that's what I'm saying, it could drop a little bit more, but it's at the bottom now. You had one last chance when it did this pop back to the top side. Don't get afraid. Don't be afraid. If you want to sell it, is it time to buy? Maybe not time to buy yet. You almost need to wait until this thing come all the way down here, or do some strategies to make money while this thing is actually dropping. It's many strategies that you can actually use. But that's it. That's all I really want to share. This is Solomon, Right Side Trader. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys are going to have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.